You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes in the form of a clip from a brand new podcast that we just launched yesterday. Part of what I guess is now the Sales Success Media Podcast Network, but I'm not hosting this one. My friend Tom Singer is doing that because, frankly, I've got enough to do. This clip comes from his conversation with Nancy Nardin. Nancy is the founder of Smart Selling Tools, where one of the things she's done is to create an incredible image showing the sales tech landscape. Here she is with Tom talking about that image.
So you have this great graphic that is your 2001 B2B enterprise sales tech landscape. And I can see it. Obviously, most people are just listening to this, but I can see you on video and you have the landscape as your background. And it's an awesome graphic. But I get the sense that you're not the type of person who just creates something so it's an awesome graphic. What led you to create the landscape?
Yeah, well, in fact, you're so right, because I resisted putting together all these logos of all the different vendors that were out there and categorizing them for the longest time, because I felt like, well, what's good is it going to do? It's certainly interesting. And it's one of our most popular and, viral, if you will, kind of things when we put it out. People are sharing it everywhere. They, kind of is mind blowing that there's so many solutions. But when I finally went to do it, I said, look, it's got to be done. I'm the one to do it. So how can I do it in a way that is going to actually tell people, well, what do you do with all of this? And so I built the landscape on a framework. And the framework I actually borrowed from Maslow's hierarchy.
Ooh,
I thought,
I like this. So it's
where we're headed.
It's a pyramid taking me to the top.
That's right. And what's at the very bottom, the most fundamental thing on Maslow's hierarchy is, well, first thing is you got to stay alive, right? So I was thinking, well, what's the most important thing for a salesperson to need to do? Not a sales organization, but a salesperson. And that is, and it's not to hit quota, because that comes later. But if I want to hit quota and I want to do all those things that I have to be done, the most important thing is to know who I'm selling to and why. If I'm spending time selling to people or companies that aren't as likely to buy as someone that I'm not calling up, right, then I'm not going to use my precious time wisely. I only have so many hours in the day. So I need to know as a salesperson, how am I going to prioritize my limited time? Who am I going to call? Why are they good prospects? What am I going to say to them so that I can get them to engage? So that's sort of the who to sell to and why, or prioritizing. So the very upper left box on my landscape is all about how do you prioritize? What are the tools that can help you do that? Now, once you have all those tools in place and you feel real good about that, of course, you need to get those people to engage with you. And that's not easy, because we've got, 10 times the number of salespeople making 10 times the number of phone calls and sending 10 times the number of emails, because of all this technology has made that possible. So how do you get through? Well, so there's lots of different technology now that can help you actually engage with those people. So that's the next level up. So that's how to read the landscape from left to right. That's the very top layer is all about salespeople. How can I get all the way from prioritizing to not only closing, but the ultimate, which is how do I get my prospects or my customers to buy again? How can I upsell and cross-sell and continue that cycle? And now we have the layers down, which are things like, how can I train my reps? How can I manage my organization? How can I make sure I have the right data in our CRM solutions? And then finally, of course, the actual CRM layer, which has around 500 solutions in it, just the CRM solutions.
There's a lot of links in this one. If you'll click over to DailySales.Tips/801, you can find a link to Nancy's sales tech landscape. We'll also have links so you can connect with Nancy and Smart Selling Solutions. We'll also have links to this full episode. There are actually 3 episodes of the Sales Tech podcast available right now. You can hear my intro with Tom, where we talked about why we decided to launch this show, the interview with Nancy, as well as an interview with Scott Brinker, the platform ecosystem VP at HubSpot, who's known to many as the Chief MarTech. Again, links to all those things at dailysales.tips/801. But I would love it if you would do a quick search in your podcast player right now for the Sales Tech Podcast. Hit subscribe and let me know what you think. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.